Hey everybody, I'm back. Somebody asked for a video on releasing tension in the mag release right here. That is one of the issues that I immediately noted after I fixed the 20 round mag. It was a very hard release, and I ran into this issue with not only the Prodigy 20 round mags, but also the 17 round magazine. First things first is obviously a clear, safe check. We are clear, no mag in, we're good to go. The first step to getting the mag release removed in the Mac 9DS is by removing this screw. So what you're going to want to do is put your flathead screwdriver into the screw hole, give it a little bit of pressure on the mag release, and then you should be able to turn it left. It's about a half turn. You can see the whole assembly is now loose, and you're able to remove it. So now that you have the mag release removed, you can go ahead and take a look at how this works. So when we pushed this screw in and turned it left, this little tab got locked in place here, keeping the spring compressed. To remove the spring, which is the next step in this process, you're going to use the same screw that you used to release the entire assembly from the gun. And all you want to do is simply press in, turn it right until that tab is released into the opening, and then slowly remove it. These are the pieces that you're left with: the main assembly, the spring that gives it tension, and the screw that holds the spring in place. Here is the OEM spring from the Mac 9DS. This is the part that you're going to be cutting a little bit shorter to relieve tension on the spring and make the mag release button a little bit easier to press. I recommend you getting a Dremel and using a cutoff wheel. This is a very small spring. You can't just hack away at it with any old tool that you have laying around. You are going to need something a little bit more precise because it is such a small spring. I removed about 1 to 2 total coil lengths. If you've cut the coil and you're good to go, feel free to skip this part. This is just for polishing. If you have 1000 grit sandpaper laying around, I recommend you do this because it takes about 30 seconds of time. All that you're going to want to do is polish the ends of the spring on the flat side. So just have the spring standing up, rub it against some 1000 grit sandpaper, and when the ends get shiny, you're ready to rock and roll. Same thing for this piece right here. This is where the spring sits. That is where the metal moves. So by polishing this part of the tab, what you're doing is causing a little bit less friction when the spring compresses against this metal, making it a little bit smoother. Is it noticeable? I'm not sure, but while you have these parts out, you might as well do it. This is the main housing for the mag release. You can choose to polish this if you want. This is what slides in the channel, that open channel when we remove this. So you can sort of give it a polish, just 360 around the exterior of this piece. Mine was smooth. I don't really find a need to do that. I'd rather keep the factory coating versus trying to expose the stainless steel. So if yours feels rough, you can sand the channel itself by rolling up some sandpaper, or you can sand this piece as well. Reassemble. All that you want to do, put the spring back onto the screw. You grab the assembly, and where the screw came out of this hole, you can see the channel there. This is Army proof, you can't mess it up. Align the tab with the spring on into the main housing. Tip it upside down so it doesn't fall out. Just press the screw back, and then once again, just like we did when we removed it, turn it left to have that tab catch back in place and compress the spring. You can throw some oil down in here, give it a good wipe down, leave some oil hanging around just to make everything run smoothly. So like I mentioned earlier, you can choose to polish the exterior of this housing, and or you can polish the channel in here. So all that you would want to do, roll up some 1000 grit sandpaper so the grit side is out, and then just shove it through that channel and give it a couple good strokes. To reassemble, it is as simple as it was to remove. Again, Army proof design here. There's only one way that this will fit in. Press it in, grab your screwdriver, and similar to removing it, you might have to press the mag release button just a tad bit so that you can get the screw to move, but it'll click right in place and you're good to go. So now it presses a lot easier. You can press it without breaking your grip, at least for myself, but I have a little bit bigger hand, so it works for me. I hope this video helped. relieve some tension on your mag release on your Mac 9 DS. Like I mentioned, mine was very stiff out of the box, and before I bought any springs, I chose to shorten the OEM screw, polish up the little parts that are in there, oil it up, and see if it worked any better. And to my happiness, it worked a lot better, so I don't have to buy any more springs. You may find it useful to buy some springs as a backup, just in case. You know, 2 is 1, 1 is none kind of mentality. I'll leave that up to you. The whole point of this process is to avoid spending money on extra springs, but I understand if you want to have a backup pair just in case you cut your spring a little too short. But I would tell you again, very easy part to remove and reinstall. So take your time, cut it small portions at a time, push your mag in, see if it's any better. I hope this video helped. I hope you have a terrific rest of your day. Thanks.